Urban farming grassroots initiatives can provide many benefits to cities and communities, including increased access to fresh and culturally acceptable food, venues for environmental and nutrition education, green spaces, spaces for community building, social integration of vulnerable groups, as well as new practices and market models and networks that help local economy. In this unit, we will examine the variety of social and economic impacts of urban farming grassroots initiatives in the communities. The involvement of civil society in urban farming, and the multitude of many different projects, developed by grassroots, or community and neighborhood initiatives, seem to have multiple potential social impacts. Whether we refer to community initiatives that develop relationships, or collaborate with public actors in urban farming projects, or to community initiatives that are not linked to public stakeholders, even to partnerships between residents and the local market, or civil society actors, the potential social impacts are multiple, and linked to social inclusion, social cohesion, improving relations between local residents, promoting civic engagement, developing new forms of democratic cooperation, environmental and nutritional education, as well as recreational opportunities, and improving health, safety, and the quality of life of communities involved. Several studies have shown that social ties between people from different backgrounds, belonging to a local community or neighborhood, are increased and improved thanks to community-based projects on urban farming. At the same time, a multitude of benefits has been found across social and cultural perspectives that relate to both neighborhood revitalization and psychological benefits for participants in community-based urban farms. These benefits include pride, self-respect, and connection with nature. In addition, at the neighborhood level, citizen collaboration and socializing result in improved trusting relationships among residents, sharing common experiences of learning, and improving their neighborhood. Community-based initiatives on urban farming, in their various forms, can create strong links and bridge the gap between people from different cultures and socio-economic backgrounds, of different ages, genders, and traditions. Grassroots initiatives provide an opportunity for community enrichment, through interaction, communication, and contact between residents. At the same time, research in the US suggests that cleaning up, greening vacant and abandoned lots, as well as establishing creative spaces for the community, such as community gardens, improve residents' perceptions of safety. Furthermore, individual case studies show that they can reduce crime rates. Possible positive benefits from grassroots initiatives on urban farming also arise in terms of education and culture. Several urban farms and community gardens help people of all ages to learn more about the environment, food production, and healthy eating. They also raise awareness of environmental protection issues, and inform residents about food security issues. Several schools are involved in initiatives or developing urban vegetable gardens, to help students better understand issues of food sustainability, health, the environment, and sustainable management. Furthermore, community gardens are a valuable tool in creating high-quality urban and rural gathering spaces, and supporting people's efforts to stay healthy. In addition, community gardens and urban farms often host various types of cultural activities, such as music nights, healthy food festivals, flower shows, cinema evenings, and readings, as well as intercultural or environmental festivals, that promote awareness of issues related to the environment, food security, respect, and coexistence with other cultures. Positive effects on an individual level have been identified for migrants and refugees, from their participation and inclusion in community gardens and urban farm projects, both in terms of self-esteem, independence, social relations, as well as community and neighborhood relations. Many articles in the international literature highlight that the participation of vulnerable populations such as migrants, refugees, minorities, people with disabilities, and ex-drug users, in community gardens can enhance their well-being, and promote their social inclusion. In several countries such as the United Kingdom and the US, grassroots and community-based initiatives in urban agriculture are being developed by migrants, minorities, and people of color, in collaboration with institutions and local authorities, to promote not only food security and environmental protection, but also their political rights, the preservation of their cultural heritage, their rights to health and healthy food, and the strengthening of their communities at political, organizational, and cultural levels. Several studies underline that grassroots initiatives on urban farming, and the open participation of citizens in their efforts and projects, enhance the participatory nature of consultation and governance processes in local communities, ensuring and strengthening democracy. grassroots initiatives can foster more democratic practices. Their methods and practices can empower citizens, and support not only the inclusion process, but also values, visions, and criteria that are often not directly addressed by the central political scene. By developing solutions collectively and promoting the active participation of the community, grassroots initiatives counteract the tendency towards depoliticization, individualization, and as far as possible, combat the social exclusion of the weakest by offering opportunities to build social capital, based on the creation of inclusive societies. At the same time, increased transparency in decision-making and organizational processes, as well as accountability for community ownership, among other things, promote democratic education and democratic practices among citizens. Research shows that in deprived, or less advantaged areas, the role of urban farming initiatives is often to address social problems, and economic segregation. Initiatives target vulnerable groups in society, giving a voice to those who are not heard, and are marginalized. In addition, the initiatives of the communities on urban farming reinforce fruitful reflection on the current system, and raise important questions about social cohesion and the access of less developed communities to healthy products, as well as their political representation and participation in the local governance. Several examples of social sustainability dimensions exist. These include urban farming initiatives that focus on and promote a wide range of social impacts such as improving the level of health and well-being of the community, smooth social integration of migrants and refugees, combating social exclusion, and creating skills for people with disabilities, creating safe spaces for members of the LGBTQ community, as well as promoting democratic participation and active citizenship among residents. As different studies show, grassroots initiatives on urban farming can have some economic impact on the communities they support and serve. However, despite the lack of evidence, the new practices, market models, and networks that are being developed are creating the ground for improving the local economies of cities and communities. Particularly in the examples of those initiatives that work with market segments or local government, and have as their agenda the effort to strengthen food security or food sovereignty, the local food market, and the local economy. Local grassroots initiatives in urban farming have the potential to create new ideas in the market, and to establish networks and structures that operate in a socially and environmentally responsible way, towards a circular economy, strengthening the local economy and social justice, both in terms of access to food, and in the distribution of economic benefits and financial support, for people and groups in need, or strengthening networks of small businesses with a social profile and social responsibility within a community. Often linking and collaborating with local business actors, authorities, and networks, as urban farming grassroots initiatives in Northern Europe usually do, enhances the legitimacy of both the process and the outcome. Grassroots initiatives have the potential to create and promote new economic models, as well as alternative delivery systems, such as local food systems, enhancing more sustainable forms of production and consumption. The interaction between producers and consumers, as a primary source of innovation, can mobilize new resources for the economic empowerment of local communities. These include the various forms of urban agriculture that increase the availability and accessibility of food in cities, and strengthen local economies such as organic food cooperatives, farmers' markets, community-supported agriculture, garden sharing, community gardens, seed exchange, cycle networks, and countless other ideas and practices. One of the most important economic effects of the networks developed in European cities is the cooperation and reunification of consumers and producers, and the creation of a relationship of solidarity between them. However, there is little evidence of concrete economic benefits. While large-scale job creation potential has not been demonstrated, urban agriculture projects offer valuable opportunities for skills development, workforce training, and supplemental income generation. Nonetheless, the diversity of business strategy, adapted to local demand, creates income and employment opportunities for urban and peri-urban farmers and projects. Legal restrictions on non-commercial food production create obstacles to the economic contribution of urban agriculture, and to job creation in the EU, which is often considered negligible. However, the demand for local food, or food produced in close proximity and with short supply chains, is growing in Europe, and this increases the economic and employment potentials of urban farming projects. At the same time, the gradual growth of alternative and local food supply networks, whether for ordinary consumers or for the catering sector businesses such as restaurants, or for the food service businesses such as supermarkets, food markets and grocery stores, underlines the need for consumers to be in close proximity to producers and food production sites. Consumer involvement in food production and distribution can create a sense of solidarity between urban farmers and consumers, and a sense of being linked together in a social and economic community. Models such as crop sharing or community-supported agriculture have the potential to provide small producers and grassroots urban farming initiatives, thus to local communities themselves with opportunities for income and employment. Several examples of economic sustainability exist in the dimension of urban community farming. These include community initiatives and social enterprises, working together with NGOs and local authorities that focus on and promote a wide range of economic impacts, such as connecting urban farms and community gardens with the local market and restaurant supply chain, food security and sovereignty, and the enhancement of jobs in the local community.